Hey, how you guys doing? Mandus Buckle here with Midwest Muscle Report. We are in Kenosha, Wisconsin with Sandy Wiedmeyer. So, Sandy, tell us a little bit about how everything started. I know originally you actually used to coach with a team with another coach. You guys did that successfully for a lot of years. And at some point, you decided to go off on your own. And I believe that was maybe 2 years ago?
It's been about 2 years. Just over 2 years.
Okay, and 2 short years later, not only do you have one of the largest teams, you have a huge office, you have a big following, you have a lot of very successful athletes, and now you're also promoting shows. So that's got to be exciting.
Yes, it is.
How did that happen so fast? And kind of walk us through what the terms of events were to get you to the point that you're at now.
Okay. Long story short, I used to be a school teacher. I taught middle school science.
Okay.
Started my family, took some time off. Didn't feel right going back because I'd been off for so long. So I got into work. A friend of mine told me, she said, Sandy, I can't be friends with someone that doesn't work out. You have to go to the gym.
Right.
So I was like, I begrudgingly went to the gym and actually fell in love with it.
Okay.
It all kind of snowballed, started teaching group fitness. Saw magazines coming out with the competitors on the cover, loved the way they look. Kind of like really fell in love with the look, decided one day, I'm going to go try this.
Right.
Not getting any younger, so might as well give it a try.
Yep.
So I jumped into it, tried a show, fell in love with it. I did get a natural pro card approximately a year and a half, 2 years after I started competing.
Okay.
As soon as I got that, I had a girl walk through the door. I was personal training at that time. I had just general weight loss. I had a girl walk through the door and asked me if I could train her for a show. And I said, well, it's not really what I do, but probably know more than you. Okay, so I just kind of helped her. She would come and she'd see me a couple of times a week. It wasn't anything like I'm doing now.
Right.
And then it just kind of evolved. She did really well with her show. And then they just started coming through the door, and it just really grew into what it is today. I've continued. I'm an educator.
First and foremost.
Yes, and I've got a few degrees, so I like education. So I've educated myself, tried to stay up on things. So it just it blossomed, and here we are today. Currently, the team has over 100 members.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over 100. That's a huge team, Sandy.
Yes.
I'd say you're, if not the largest team in the Midwest, the second largest team in the Midwest. So that speaks volumes about what you're doing. I'd like to elaborate a little bit about you saying that you're an educator. Do you find that your style of coaching is a lot like an educator, as in you're not just telling them to do something without a reason, you're actually teaching them why certain things work for their bodies, how they should be eating, how they should be training?
Yeah, I welcome questions from my competitors. I have no problem answering them. I'm not a just do as I say. I mean, yes, do as I say, but not just do as I say kind of coach. I'm happy to explain why. I'm happy to explore new avenues. So even if there's an approach that I've not tried, if I've got someone that's interested and we think together that maybe this is something we can try that might work for them, I'm willing to educate myself and work with them on the new approach.
Right.
So I think I'm just very flexible, and I think that comes from having taught middle school students,
Gotcha.
where you kind of have to be flexible with them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, I knew you had a big team. I did not realize, again, over 100.
And I have to say that it's not just me. I mean, it's the people that are on the team. You've met a lot of my competitors.
Yes.
They're really good, genuine people. They really, truly support each other. And I think that's what draws in the new athletes. It's not just, oh, Sandy's so great. It's really a great team. The people are really good people, no matter what walk of life, whether they're training for a national show, whether it's their life goal to make the stage, everybody's accepted. And everybody supports each other.
Right.
And I think that's important, and I think that's key.
Absolutely. Well, I do travel a lot. This is what I do for a living. We're all over the country. My better half and I, Sarah Lyon, all year long. And you hit on something that I think is lost. You said you have a large team, that a lot of people are drawn to the team aspect. I've talked to a lot of competitors who say, you know what, this is an individual sport. I don't need to be on a team. I don't want to share the spotlight. I don't need the hoopla and the rah-rah stuff. And I completely understand that.
Sure.
But what I think some of them are missing is every single athlete, whether it's Mr. Olympia, whether you look back to when everything started with Arnold and everybody back at Gold's Venice, they might not have called themselves a quote-unquote team, but it was a support system.
Sure.
Which in turn, when you hear the top athletes in our industry, they thank their support system. Mm-hmm. In essence, guys, that's a team. Mm-hmm. You're just extending it a little further. Mm-hmm. You're extending it to a group of athletes. And you're right, it tends to help newer athletes more than anyone. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree. And I think it helps the athletes who are a little more seasoned because now they've got people to mentor, and it keeps them fresh and it keeps them excited about the sport.
Correct.
Because now they're around people that are fresh and excited about the sport because it's all new to them.
Correct. You know, Sandy, I knew she competed. Now, I think Sandy might be making a comeback. We'll have to see. I know she's got a busy schedule. But most of what I've known from Sandy has been as a coach and now as a promoter. I'd like to talk a little bit about how you got into promoting, what you had to do, and I believe your first show was last fall?
Correct.
Okay. What was the date, and how did that all kind of turn from simply coaching to all of a sudden now adding that on top of everything else you're doing, saying, hey, let me go ahead and promote a show?
Sure. I think it's a natural extension.
Okay.
You know, I kind of look at everything that I do as a way of keeping me in an industry that I really care about and that I love, that I feel like did a lot for me as an individual. This is kind of my way of, you know, as I'm aging and maybe even as I outgrow being an athlete, this is a way to stay in the industry that I love. Is, you know, I don't want to say I'm living through my clients. Hopefully we're doing this together. But it keeps me attached, and that's kind of what the show does too. It seemed like a natural extension to what I'm already doing. There was room for growth in our state as far as shows go. So that's why I wanted to promote a show. I felt there was certainly room for it.
Yeah.
The state was growing a lot. Our promoters here have done a wonderful job with their shows and growing this state.
Yep.
So it seemed like a natural extension. So I promoted my first show November 14th.
Okay. And what was the name of the show?
Pride of the Midwest.
Pride of the Midwest. Okay. Mm-hmm. Are you doing it again this year?
Yes, October 1st.
October 1st.
October 1st.
And the name of it?
Pride of the Midwest.
Is going to stay Pride of the Midwest.
It will stay Pride of the Midwest.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Did you hear that? Go ahead and plug it one more time, Sandy.
Pride of the Midwest, October 1st in Kenosha.
There you go.